Hello, welcome to another video of fixing another problem. So today I'm going to discuss the joystick which is called the Nacon. The Nacon, that's what it's called, and we have a problem which I have seen time after time where this controller is a wired controller, but for some reason the company, which is Nacon, has decided to make a connector that comes off. I don't know why they did that, only for packaging purposes I'd like to think. So what's happened is that many people have complained that they don't supply another one, quite hard to get hold of the company, support is pretty much next to nothing, and it's just not even worth contacting them. But the controller is quite good. A lot of people use it. The price reflects that because the prices are around about over £100. This controller has a broken connector. As you can see here, there is a connector that goes in, and if you see here, usually there's a screw that tightens on and secures it, but in this case that's fallen off. So all I have is the 5 pins and this. So what are we going to do about this? Right, so first of all, if it was me, I would never make this connector coming out from like a disconnecting plug from here anyway. If it was to be made, it would be better making it around this point so it doesn't put too much stress on this area where when you're playing, and makes it more secure. But I'm sure that the newer model, they've changed it to, I think, a USB-C, which is a new model. So let's see what we can do to improve this. So first of all, what I'm thinking is that, can we use this cable? Maybe, maybe not. So we've got 5 points here, and this is just a standard USB cable, to be honest. I don't think anything special about this cable. 5 points and a USB connector here. So let's put that on the side. Right, what I'm going to do, so option 1 is to either cut the same cable off, take these connectors out, put this back in and seal it so it actually stays in place, and that's it, and the controller becomes normal again. We've got life. Option 2 might use something like this, which has got a multi-pin connectors, male or female. So what we're thinking is that we'll put the female section here in the controller, and then we can actually convert this to USB, and then all we have to do is plug that in like that, and it will just work. But the thing is that USB, this has got 5 pins. This connector here has got 8 pins. We don't really need 8 pins, but it's a thought we might actually consider. But I'll put that on the side. And option 3, one of those printer cables. I'm sure you've seen these many before. But a USB and one of those. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to somehow use this cable to stay in here, stay put. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut this off and secure this connector inside. So effectively the wires are the same, you know. It's like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 wires, and the top is the ground, so it's got 4 wires. Same here, 4 wires going in, and in total is 5. So if we did that, it should actually work. So let's see what we can do. But to start off with, we need to first of all open this up. So let's see. So here we go. Let's open this. See what we get. Okay, the connector is loose. That's good. How do we open one of these? Never opened one before. So let's see what we can do. Let me grab a screwdriver bit. Right, so here I think they've got these caps on to prevent the screws from being accessed. I think. Let's try to see if we can pry this out. Oh yeah, there's one out. Let's try number 2. Yep, number 2's out. Number 3. Hey, number 3's out. Oh, we've got plenty of these to go through. I wouldn't call it a good design, but anyway. Just to make it look nice, they've put in so many caps on this. There we go, that one's out as well. So, and the last one I think is this one here. That's out as well. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 screws to open now. Right, I think it's a Phillips screw, so we'll use a Phillips screw to open this. That's one. See if I've got the right tip. We have to make sure we get the right screw fittings, otherwise once the screw slips then you've got little hope in opening this. We've got those. Forgot to mention that we need to remove the weights in the controller as well that are present at the moment. There is actually a key in the box I think they provide to remove the weights, so we just use this key, turn this, there we go, and so the weights will come out. Here are the weights in the controller. So you don't need them at the moment. There we go, the weights are now out. Just put them on the side. So let's see. Open sesame. Let's see. There we go. And controller is about to open. Not much heavy when the weights come out anyway, so let's see what's in it. I believe we have taken all the screws out, so there shouldn't really be anything that should be holding it together. Here we are, it's 2 clips. Right, the controller's now open. Right, where were we? So here we are, as I was saying, 5 wires. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Red, white, green, black and yellow. That's good. At least it's color coded, so it shouldn't be a problem. Ooh, very nice, very flash. Look at that, we've got 2 vibrating motors, control sensors, buttons, which are pretty standard. I can see them. And then we've opened this up. Now in order to get to that part, we'll still need to open further screws to get the board out. Yep. I mean, sometimes it's better to take a picture or you know, a photo of the controller if you're not too sure that can you actually put it together the way it was opened. But I don't really mind because I could put it together in good time. It's just a matter of now understanding how this controller is put together furthermore. So we've got another set Ah, that's it. That's what we wanted to take out. Oh, here we are. I guess I don't need to open the board after all. So what we need to do is that this is the culprit that we need to fix here, which actually connects to that, which we don't want anymore. Now the question is, now you know what we need now is a multimeter. So we must have one of those to check the points from here to there. Now if this is broken, you must be asking, well, how do we know which wire goes where? Well, some things are always good to see carefully. Now there's a reason why they've actually put a notch on there so it doesn't go round and round. So that sits firm when this goes in, right? So if this was to go in there, this connector here, if you look carefully, has a mark on it, that like a 1. Now assuming that this is the 1 will come right at the top, which makes it go that way. So let's bring this out again. So yeah, so let's see. So all we have to do now is pull this connector out. This is just a button. You can probably slip in anywhere. Here we go. Right, so put the joystick aside. The two things we need to now play with is this, and maybe that. So how do we actually make this go forward? It's quite interesting actually. Might be easier than I thought. So all we need to do now is somehow plug that in there, maybe drill it a bit bigger, make the hole bigger and do that. Whereas I noticed that some users may have a problem with the cable. Well, in that case, what you need to do is you can actually go for option 3, which is in my case this one here. So what we do is you could, the reason why I'm using this is because we want to make sure that we actually use the wire end secure fastened so it only goes in. So let's see if I was to chop this. Let's chop this and see what's inside. Here we are. Let's see. Let's open this up. Let's see how the connectors are connected, and then we're going to make out. No, there's no specialist tools for this, just normal DIY stuff. I'm just using hose pliers and cutters. Bring everything back. So might be able to use this. This should actually help a lot of people actually, because this controller is so expensive, and when it just stops working, it's so annoying. You can't just fix it, you know. So this is the reason why I decided to make this video, so at least some of us will benefit from it. If you're a good DIY person, then you might as well just watch this and see if it works for you, or at least gives you an idea what to do, nothing else. Right, the question is, are we moving forward? Maybe, maybe not. Let's see. What is that? Is it ever going to open? Or is it just going to stay there like that? Interesting. Let's see if we need another screwdriver. Sorry, I should actually move this a bit further down. Maybe a bit more. Yeah, there we are. Right, righty ho. Let's see. It's out. It's coming up as well. Hopefully that's also going to come out. And then we'll probably have a not easy to get apart, pull apart this, I have to say. But then again, you have to try. There we are. Look at that. Yep, the top shield is the ground, like I thought. So let's see if we can get rid of that. Yep. What we're trying to do is expose the wires so we can actually see if the colors coordinate with what we've got running there. Chances are yes, maybe, maybe not, who knows. Let's see, where are we? It's quite interesting actually, because this connector is quite strong. And what I'm trying to do is take this out in a way that I can reuse it, which is not going to be easy. Right, we're getting there. Right. Oops, there we go. Oh, wires have come out. Now let's see if we have successfully exposed some of the wires. Scary thought, this is all kind of blended in. Going in the connector. Well, looks like the colours are the same, which is really good news. At least in this wire, the one I'm using. It might be different on others. Might be a standard, who knows. Right, here we are. But guess what we've got? Connect the wires I've been I can see right now are, look at that. So can you see them? The wires I have is black, red, green, white. So I've got the black, red, green, white, and yellow is the ground, which is at the end. So what we've got here is that wire here, right at the very end one. That's quite worrying because that wire I cannot see. Ah, there it is, right at the end. It's inside. Well, that means that I might have to take this out altogether, because this might not actually go in the way I want it. So the best thing is probably to pry this open anyway. Might have success actually. Looking quite positive now. At least we've got the wires. Obviously the task is to not only fix it, but fix it with a good finish, so it looks like it's being fitted in properly and it can't be pulled out. So let's give it another try. Shave off some more of this end of it. I don't know if these colours are standard on USBs or not, but it certainly looks like they're using standard wiring. what we're going to do is obviously cut this off and just solder it in, to be honest. It's quite interesting actually. So you might even be inclined to pull this out if that connector actually allows me to do that. Should be quite interesting if I could. Hey, here we are. Guess what? Just open this up. So here, this was actually, yeah. So what we're saying here is that this connector here, this piece here, and then this goes in there, inside there, like that. It was like this there. So you want to just take all of this out. Take it all out. Right. Right. We'll use this actually. It's a good idea. We'll use exactly what's there, and then instead of using that, because this might become a bit of a problem, let's see if we can cut this furthermore. It's going to be interesting. We're going to save our US controller today. Here we are. Look at that. Now, obviously the idea was for me to make it look like this. You can see, I think you guys can see this. You can see that was my plan, so we can actually make it this way. But because these, I mean, that may work or might not, or we can just pull this whole wire in there and then pull it out that way, and then put some packing or tape around that to make it look as if it's fixed. So let's see if we can do that. It's an interesting thought, but then again this also looks quite nice. Actually, we have to make sure whatever we do, it's secure and strong. It doesn't come out. And that's the thing we have to make sure. I mean, we can glue this on the side, and then it just becomes permanent. I think that would probably work quite well in this scenario. Just hope the colours match. Well, I think they should anyway. Yeah, could probably plastic connects to plastic quite well actually. I mean, this was always a thought that the wire was a bit more thicker, then I'd probably put that in. I mean, this is another thought that we can just obviously cut this off like that. There we go, that goes off, and then see if this wire goes in there. And obviously it's got this fabric around it. That's right. So yeah, we could use this option as well, which is quite nice. But the thing is, let me think about this. Firstly, we don't have a lot of space in this place, in this controller. What we're looking at, there's very little space, so we need to think how we're going to place this, and how's it going to be. I mean, this wire here, and it's got I think these are like noise blockers and stuff, so which are quite nice. I mean, this option means that I have to then put this in there, then put this back on there, as we should. That's just an empty hole, and then what we'll do, put the wire through that, like so, like this, and hopefully, and then we can probably put some, use a hot glue gun to put some, you know, plastic in that, or I don't think hot glue gun's going to set it that well. We'll have to use some kind of araldite or something and make sure this wire stays put in one place. Still not 100% on this, but I mean, obviously I've got two options now. We've got option A and option B. Let me see if I can strip this wire. We need a wire stripper, so let's see what we can come out with when we strip it. Are the colours the same? What I see? Are they different? They're certainly shielded, that's good. So let's do more. There we are. That's ground, we all know what that is. So I need to give it a thought, but I'm thinking while I'm doing this as well. So there's no plan of what we're going to do. We're just doing this as we go along. There's cotton as well. Yeah, as I thought exactly. So that's the yellow one, which is that, and that there. So as you can see, this is the genuine wire colors, and this is the printer wire colors. Obviously the same. So having said that, the printer wire looks a bit thicker actually. Sure. Having that in connector in place seemed like a plausible answer, because it looks, you know, part of the controller like everybody else. Let's see if I can take this off without. Let's cut this off. We might need this piece here. So hard to get off these always. Here we are. So it's quite nice to have one of these. Put that in there somehow if I could. Probably would, but I doubt that's not that big. But anyway, let's see how that wire. Ooh. Well, my plan was to actually put that in, tie a knot in there, put the knot strong enough, pull it back in, and that locks it in. But the knot is so big it won't even stay in. So let's see. And also the wire is pretty small. Well, not small, but quite. It's not as long as the genuine wire that you would expect, which is like meters and meters long. I mean, having a small wire doesn't matter because you can always use an extender. So here we are again, back to where we started. It's quite interesting because I didn't think it would be that simple. And honestly, you don't really need to worry about it. It's very, very easy to do because of the colours. So, because I was thinking initially we might need a multimeter to test the wire, but we don't need to test the wire colours and the coordinates because the colours are coordinating where the wires go. So all we need to do then is take this connector off, which is here. So take that off. Right. I would leave the wires long actually. Right. And then I'm going to join every single wire and hopefully put heat shrink wrap on them or some sort and make sure they're all sealed. So let's see if we can strip them. Yeah. If this is gripping them. Oh yeah. Takes time. That's 2, that's 3, and that's 4, and that's 5. Got the wires right? Yep, perfect. So here we are, we exposed all 5 wires, the red, the white, the green, and the black, and the yellow being the ground, and then obviously we can get that out. So that's all, but they've all been now stripped. We've got the points coming out. Now the question is, how do we connect that to this? Because if we did that, like it is in here, Come on, here we are. Where are we going? Where are we going? Here we are. There, right now. So that goes in there. Are the wires long enough to connect to that? Yes, they are long enough. They have plenty of room to maneuver. So now the question is, I'll take this out again, and let's see if we can now put this whole wire in there again, in the controller, and then seal it. And the thing is, we have to have this in there, because yeah, if it's not in there we can't do it. It has to be in there, because this fastens from outside, and then so what I am now thinking of doing is leaving this piece as it is. And ideally I wouldn't, no, it's kind of a question mark in my head, but I've got to give it a go, at least try. So we're going to mix some glue, and we're going to glue this whole area inside so it doesn't move and it stays put. Cannot see anything else that I can actually do in this moment in time. That would fasten it and make it secure it so well, and hopefully this will be quite secure to play, of course, and then it won't actually break. We leave a bit of, a bit of wire around so it can actually move around like that. So you have a bit of a, so it certainly works. And worst case, if this goes, then we can always cut it from here, put it back in, and join it to do the same thing again. But let's just use this as it is, and then we'll just solder all these wires. So I'll come back. I'm going to stop the video now, and let me just put glue inside it. So what we're doing is just to show you, we're going to put glue inside here. Make sure this wire stays in place, and then we'll come back and recap on what we're doing next. Okay, thanks. Right, hi, I'm back again, and just to let you know, I have put glue on it now, as I was showing before. So there has been glue applied on this section here. It's epoxy glue, like Araldite or something, or Gorilla Glue, whatever you can find, and it's a bit wet at the moment. Let it dry. But this cable, because it's got fabric on them, that's the good bit. It sticks quite well with the resin of the glue, so you can see it's not coming out now. It's proper stuck. So that's good. So all I have now is these 5 wires that I need to solder back in, and jobs are good. So great. So all we're going to do now is to just solder these wires back in place, and your Nacon controller is back online. So let me finish this off, and I shall come back and show you. I mean, soldering is dead easy, to be honest. Once you're that far, I don't think there's any doubt that you won't be able to solder, because solder is important. If you don't solder, then the wires would just come off, for whatever reason. So you need to have solder to make a secure joint. Remember, that is ground, so that's the yellow one. Apart from the other coordinates, all the green and the red and everything's the same. There's a big hope that the colors are correct, matching that, which is the whole idea. And it's good that they are colors, and so we can actually match them all up. So yeah, I'm pleased with this result actually. So we didn't have to use the printer cable wire that I was actually trying to obviously put in as well. And there's always that option is there. So if anybody has a cable that's completely gone, then you can just cut it from here, do the same thing what I did, take it all the way in, and perhaps you could put a knot here if you know, put these wires on and make a slight different connection. But yeah, I mean, this wire can be reused. You can chop it off from here, expose the wires, open it up, connectors, and your connector's fine, because it's not a chargeable controller. So why would you make a controller that the wire disconnects? It's just pointless. They should be able to make this so flexible in this particular area that it actually, you know, it leads in every direction. I know what I've done is not as flexible as it should be, and because it's going to probably put more strain on it, but I'm just going to put the controller in one position. We're not going to sort of, you know, and when you're playing, your controller is always like this, always like that. Yeah, and because it doesn't have like motion control or anything, so you're not going to like pulling or tugging or anything. It's not like a Wii U remote or something. So yeah, it's just going to be one place and it vibrates and you play with it. And the only time that I understand when people start to break this is when they store it somewhere and the wire gets bent, or for whatever reason, and it just sort of, you know, goes out of hand. But you can save yourself a lot of money by doing this. I mean, this cable here, which is just like one of those square printer cables, this is probably on eBay for a couple of quid, to be honest. It's not like a great deal, and you can actually replace the entire wire with this one. So yeah, hi, welcome back again. So yes, where I left you last was that I was meant to go and solder these. So I have now soldered all of these, as you can see, and shrink wrap them. Heat shrink is on each single wire, so you can see, I don't know if you can see this closely, if you can do. All the wires are red with the red, white with the white, green with the green, black with the black, and yellow with the ground. So I'm assuming that's the right ones combo. Here, as you can see here, is all glued securely, and this section here is now going anywhere. If I pull it, I've been trying to pull it and it's not. So yeah, it was rapid set as well, so it's actually set quite quickly. So yeah, I would say this is pretty much done. Just trying to see if I can fix it together on the camera. So here we are, and this will now go back in exactly as it was. Let's see if we can put it in. Yep, here we go. The connector will go in its place where it was, just to make sure it's the right way around. Let's see, it should actually slide nice and easily. And once it's in, here we go, and here we go, it's in. So as you can see, nicely done. All the wires are set, it's all in place. All I now have to do is put the lid back on. All the buttons are in place. Click, 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 and another click. Hopefully, yeah, once the screws go back on, everything will just fall in place. Yeah, there is an element of screws that we need to put in now. They are important. Without the screws, I don't think they would hang together, to be honest. So yeah, I'm sure this would actually now class as a successful repair, because we have now just fixed the Nacon game controller without actually using any other item. We haven't purchased anything else other than, you know, soldering iron, which we always should have at home if we are into DIY, and a wire stripper to strip the wires. It's important to use a wire stripper because we don't want to actually cut the threads of the wire. So wire stripper is very fine, it does the job very well. So we have yeah, that's in. That one's also, I think, one more missing. I think it's this one here. That's it. The battery is running low on my camera, so it might go. But yeah, here we are, and the controller's done. As you can see. Thanks for watching, and hopefully this will give you an idea how to fix this. please do subscribe, because I will be coming up with other fixes on other items. So yeah, let me know if there's any questions. Thank you for watching. Right, so for those who have been asking that does it still work after I have done the installation of the wire, which you can see it's all done, it's connected, it is working, and I can confirm because I'm just going to show it to you now. Let's see, here's the cable. What I'll do, plug that in, the USB ports there. See here, the light has now come on. We can actually now see, once that is all in, that it will, sorry, just need to obviously turn this on. So yeah, that is all working now. It was just the thing that turns it off. Here we go, yeah, that's it. So yeah, now it's all the modes are working as well. That's mode 2 for the profiles, and that's mode 1 just for the so yeah, that fixed how that actually successfully worked. The controller is secure, as you can see, it's not going anywhere. The glue that we've stuck on, it's pretty secure, so yeah, no, that's as you can see, it still works. Yep. So yeah, thanks for watching, and hope that answers the question of does it still work. Yep, it sure does. And the connection, as you can see here, it is very well done. Alright, thanks for watching, and do try this if you have trouble with your cable. Doesn't really matter if your cable is you know, all ripped, or if it's cut from here and it's sort of, all you got to do is like take a pair of scissors and cut it from here and bring it back in straight into the controller and follow my instructions. Thanks for watching. Any questions, do ask. Okay, bye.